Alright, so I've got a new feature in my early access library for ProffieOS7. So I want to show it. This can be used with the idle off sound capability, but it's also technically independent. So I'm going to go down. So this is a new feature that allows you to toggle the off behavior of a crystal chamber or an accent, or technically any blade that uses a crystal chamber style or accent. It also works with the build a sequence as well. But so typically, your crystal chamber or your accent LEDs, you can set them to have off behaviors. By default, those are going to just run all the time as long as the idle off time isn't set, or obviously if the power to the board is cut. But now with the introduction with previously on early access with the toggle idle off sound capability, I've now got it so you can also now toggle that actual off behavior. So that it doesn't run all the time if you don't want to, and you can either have that running with the idle off sound, or you can do it independent. But I'll just it's a pretty simple setup, but I just wanted to show it. So either under crystal chamber, accent, or build a sequence, you'll go in and you'll choose your off behavior. So off behavior is down here, so by default there isn't any, so I'm going to put a Kyber flow. And obviously you can set, your colors, everything, but the idea now is this new toggle is here. So you can set it to run with one of your special abilities, or technically the clash roll off. So if you wanted to set your crystal chamber so it's just automatically off when you first power up the board, or go into a preset, but then if you clash your saber, it'll turn on. You could do that as well. That'll run differently than the special ability one, but same concept. But so if I set special ability 5 here, what's going to happen now is by default the off behavior is off whenever you boot up or when you power up the saber. And then if you wanted to have the off ability activate, and this will run while your blade is not ignited, you can use special ability 5 and that will toggle this effect on. And then again, if you wanted to stop it, you would use special ability 5 again, and that'll turn it off. Now how this coordinates to the idle off sound, and there are no sounds playing right now, but if I go in here to special ability 5 and I can set toggle idle off sound, now what I can do is when I toggle my off sound, the idle sound to run, it will also then have the visual effect running on my crystal chamber. So that way, if you wanted that kind of a hum sound, which I know is the original intent of the idle off, we can also have it so when you toggle that on, we also can toggle your crystal chamber on. So now when I do special ability 5, you're not going to hear anything, but if I was on my blade, we would have the idle sound running with this effect. And then if you toggle it off, the idle sound would toggle off, and then the visual effect will also toggle off at the same time. So you can coordinate. So just a note though, they are independent of each other. So you can set special abilities to run the effect, the visual effect on and off as a toggle without the idle off sound. So I don't need to have special ability 5 set to use this feature. It will still trigger with the special ability, so you still need the special ability to define, you still need that prop. But you can do it with or without. So if you set the toggle here, the off behavior toggle, and you set a special ability to run the idle off sound, that'll do it. Now obviously if you set special ability 5 above to be anything else, when you go to toggle this, it will do that. So if you set like an ignite special ability, but then you also set that same special ability on your crystal chamber to toggle, you're going to have a conflict there because your blade's going to ignite, so you're never going to actually see that effect. So just one thing to keep in mind, when we do use special abilities for other effects, you always want to kind of keep track of what you're setting, and make sure that you're not going to end up setting a conflict. And also when you have presets, particularly with crystal chambers or accent LEDs, don't forget your main blade is typically going to be your control layer. You want to make sure that you set those special abilities up on all the subsequent blades within a preset to run the same way. So if you set like a control layer for special ability to do one thing on your main blade, but then you have other things set up on your subsequent blades like crystal chamber or accents or stuff, you'll end up with conflicts there too. So don't forget, special abilities do interact across multiple blades. So when you set up a preset, you want to make sure that all the special abilities align if they exist on any of the other blades. But that's really it. And then again, you can obviously play around with all of your anything you want in terms of off behavior. You can also set multiples, and you can have them be able to be set with your off option if you use edit mode. But now you can have it so that you can toggle the off behavior of your crystal chamber or accent LEDs or any of the off blades via a special ability set. And again, it's under the off behavior. So this is, while it uses special ability, you would set it for the off behavior toggle. And then, like I said, you can run it either with or without a special ability that's equivalent to it. So this is now up on early access. If you have any questions, if you run into any issues, as always, use the questions or issues link. This will take you to the Crucible thread. This is the easiest way to report any problems. And just as always with the early access library, any issues with style code, either if it doesn't work in the library or if you go to upload and you get a compiler, I only need the copyright section. So when you generate the blade, give me the blade style. Just give me the top section, the copyright section. It's a comment. If you put that in the thread, that will let me go and troubleshoot what's going on with the options you select. So obviously, with the hundreds of thousands of options now in the library, in order for me to track down any issues in the code or in the scripts, I just need that section of code. It'll give me all the info I need, and then I can usually go troubleshoot from there. But so it's now up on early access, so check it out, and I hope you enjoy.